Alright, welcome back to the Space Luchador program. Today, short video for you because none of you have no attention span. And once again, I lost a subscriber. Now, for those considering already clicking off, not because of what you think. I lost them because they refuse to believe, or this is too damn hard for them. But it don't matter. We're going to continue on. Alright, now, like I said in the past in other videos, you do not chase, you catch. That's how simple it is. It's hard to do. And that right there already triggered plenty of you, right? Because it's easy, but it's hard to do. It's the work that's the problem. You don't want to hear it. And I get it. I've been there. I have been there long ago, but I was there, right? It's like, what are you saying? I have to lift? Yes. If you want gains, yes. There ain't no ways around it, period. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump in. A little audio, no more than, I want to say 3 minutes, right? And you're going to get a little bit of me basically explaining why and when, right? Like I always do, but understand. Just like it's easy, but it's hard to do, this is one of those where it's like a little paradox. But if you understand it, if you actually try to listen to what I'm saying and figure it out, I'm telling you, it's life-changing and you'll never go back. Guaranteed. Anyways, it works like this. Now, I've said in other videos, right? P radar. What is this? All women are subject to this. This is the actual thing, right, that they use. It's their greatest superpower, period. Because they don't need to know what's going on. They just need a hunch. And this is the mechanism of how they do it. Now, I'm going to use this video audio, right, to show you what I mean and how it works. And hopefully get your attention, get your like, and your subscription, right, to my channel here, right? And help me help you. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump in.
You ever notice how the moment you stop chasing someone, everything starts to shift? When you stop sending that extra text, when you stop checking if they saw your story, when you stop trying to remind them you exist, they start to feel it.
There it is. Now, that's a figure of speech in the video, audio. I'm telling you that is for reals. They really do feel it. It's the P radar. I've said it over and over and over again, right? Understand. Do the work.
Not because you blocked them, not because you begged, but because silence speaks in a language ego can't ignore.
There's another keyword, ego. Understand, it's not about you. Never was. It's not if they like you or they don't. Because again, it's not about you. Never was. And you must understand that, right? This you must understand moving forward so you don't get butt hurt and lose the game. Understand? Okay, moving on.
See, you don't have to delete anyone to move on.
Because that's a move. How many times have I said it? It's chess, not checkers. Anything you do, even what you don't, is indeed a move in the game of chess, of love in war. Understand that as well.
You don't have to prove that you're over them. You just have to detach. You just have to step back and let time do what words never could.
And it has to be legitimate. It can't be a simple tactic, even though those work too. But understand, they fall apart because you do the tactic and then don't know what to do on the next step. You understand? Because they have, believe it or not, because that's how good they are at the game, they have little protocols to counter your little tactic. Understand? So if you just do the tactic without knowing what's next, it all falls apart. And you go right back to square one, if not negative numbers. But that's for next level. Like I always say, right? Let's continue.
Energy speaks louder than messages.
There it is again. It can't get any simpler than that. Energy. Your energy tells everything about you. and it tells everything to the P radar. So there you go. They don't need to hear anything. They just need a simple whiff of your dumbass energy. And I call it like that because it's funny. Right? Your energy is literally your presence. For those, what do you mean? Your presence, all right? Your little nervous, tics, whatever it is, your dumbass face, faces that you make, everything under the sun that revolves you, your personal little body language and all that, summed up into your energy. Okay? Let's continue.
When you stop feeding a connection, it starts to fade on its own. That's energy. Most people think closure comes from conversations, but the truth, it comes from control. Control over where your energy goes and what you refuse to chase anymore. You don't need to block someone to create distance.
Now let me explain that little part right there, because that's the confusing part, right? Well, it is indeed about control. And understand, it's not about controlling her necessarily, even though it is a little bit of that, but no. It's about controlling yourself. What's in your power to do so, right? So what can you control in a scenario where she's measuring your little energy? Well, do you refuse to fall under her spell, if you will, right? For lack of a better word, right? It's the spell of you falling in love. Do you have what it takes, right, to basically say no? I, the man, right, because I always say this, I refuse to fall to you. And guess what happens? All of this, right? But there you go, right? And like I said, it's so simple. But it's hard as hell to do, because it's the hardest thing to do in this little blue planet behind me. It literally is. To control yourself. That's why I lose subscribers. That's why my channel's small. That's why, right? Because you got to look in the mirror. The hardest thing to do. That's what I ask of all of you, right? And not because of me, right, necessarily, but because this is the answer. This is literally the answer to all of you, my viewers, right? And even those that I have lost, right? You'll be back inevitably, right? You have to. It's the only way, right? But anyways, it's the biggest thing, hardest thing to do. And yes, that's what I ask. That is what is required if you want to win in the game of love and war. So there you go, right? I could go on rambling, but instead we're going to end it here. So if you have any kind of value out of my video, you got intrigued, you like my work, maybe, yes, it's a little harsh, a little cocky, whatever it is, you don't like it, no entertainment, whatever, right? But if you do, give me a like, share, subscribe. I'm going to give you straight up what it is, right? You want the sugar-coated crap, right? You want to hear, right, what you want to hear, right? You want me to repeat stuff that basically takes you out of the guilt part, right? That it's not your fault. I hate to say it to you, but it is indeed your fault. And while you cannot control, right, your energy necessarily, what you put out, you can indeed control the outcome. Understand? But that's next level. Anyways, help me help you, right, by buying me a copy. Right there. That will support me to basically stop everything else I'm doing and dedicate more to this, right, and giving you the answers. But there it is. So recap, right? What's the recap? Well, P radar. That's how they know what they're dealing with from the very beginning, the moment they lay eyes on you. And sometimes they don't. I'll explain that later. You just have to be there. Within the premise of the P radar, right? Or the scale. And they already know what you are made of. And you don't want to hear, right? You don't like it, but it is the truth. That's how it works, right? And of course, no one out there in the internet is even touching this insider, right? Next level in the dating world. This aspect. Now they've hinted at it, wink, wink, right? With the whole presence, your presence, right? Your demeanor, character, all of that. All of that comes into play. But there you go. I'll see you on the next Space Luchador program.